Hey everybody, Mark from Rams up here. Have another pre-game video for you. Preseason game number 2 between the Rams and the Raiders. I'll be doing this all year long, the day before the games. And this is the second one. We did the Chargers Rams last week. We'll follow up with a recap right after the game. Typically, it's the fearsome 4 keys to victory from the Rams' perspective in the preseason. Again, we're just going to look at the fearsome 4 things I really want to see from our team. And actually, there's more than 4. There always is. There's a lot of things I want to see in this preseason game. But before we get into that, I wanted to give some kudos. A couple of Rams players really stepping up. Apparently, here news out of camp that Bryson Hopkins, Sean McVay, extremely happy with his performance. That's good to hear. We assumed he was going to be the number 2 tight end, the fact that he's not playing at all in the preseason. But it's nice to get a call out from Sean McVay for our young tight end. Not sure what's going to happen with Hunter Long and Davis Allen, but we have our top 2 tight ends identified, that's for sure. And Tutu Atwell continues to splice and dice that Raider defense, that Raider secondary. So that's good to know as well. And that's a lot of that's due to the precision passing of Matthew Stafford. All accounts is he continues to look incredible. Man, I'm really excited about this next preseason game. I'm really excited about the season and see what Stafford can do. One thing worth noting is, I don't know what the heck's going on with Joseph Noteboom. The fact that he's not practicing, just doing individual work on the sideline. Is that concerning? Is there a trade in the works? Your guess as good as mine. Rams camp and our inside reporters really have nothing to add to that, so we'll just have to wait and see. So what are the fearsome 4? Actually, I think I got about 8 or 9 things here I want to see against the Raiders this second game. As I mentioned in the pod, the Thursday morning pod, give me some more Zach Evans. I just want to see this guy, what he can do in the preseason. I think there's a lot of potential there. Let's find out sooner rather than later if Zach Evans is a real deal. Passes the eye test, that's for sure. The second thing I want to see, I hear the Rams are not concerned about Tanner Brown and his ability to hit 45-yard field goals and such. I want to see it in a preseason game. But hey, he's doing better than the Niners' third-round pick, Jake Moody, at this point. So there's that. What else do I want to see? The rushing defense, the run defense. Let's seal the edge. That'd be the starting point. Don't give up these gallops up the sideline for 20, 30 yards. Baby steps here, run defense. We'll get the interior settled next. Let's seal the edge. That would be a starting point. And the fourth thing I want to see is a pass rush. I want to see early. I want to see our guys getting to the quarterback early. And I mean guys like Byron Young, Michael Hoyt, and Nick Hampton. If they're the guys that are getting the early snaps, let's generate consistent pressure. Hey, sacks come and go. You never know when a guy's going to get a sack. Just because they're not getting sacks doesn't mean they're not doing their job or playing well, but I'd still like to see consistent pressure, and a sack from one of these guys up front would be a bonus. And a few other things I want to see. I'd love to see Stetson Bennett play as much or more than he did last week. I think Brett Ripien only played 2 series, was it? And you got to give Brett a fair shake, but the more Stetson Bennett, the better. I'm excited about his potential as a backup quarterback, but he needs more time out there if he's really going to be our number 2. The other thing I want to see is if it's Stetson Bennett out there, whoever's out there at quarterback, let's get the tight ends involved. Our tight ends, 1 catch for 5 yards. That was Christian Sims. Got to do better than that from that tight end position. I don't know if they're not getting open or they're just not part of the passing game at this point. But Stetson Bennett needs to learn how to utilize his tight ends. Rather than running around back there, let's find that second and third option in the passing game. I assume that's going to be a lot of passes to the tight end if it goes the way we'd like it to go. I'd like to see more playing time for Tanner Ingle. Really excited about him as well, and I bet you he's out there more. I noticed Jordan Jones got some early snaps at cornerback. Tanner Ingle came in later at safety. Those are 2 guys that I think are maybe climbing up the depth chart slowly. I don't know if they're going to update that so-called unofficial depth chart, but if they did, don't be surprised if those two have elevated themselves. And I'd like to see a takeaway. Let's get that takeaway culture going. The teams that make the playoffs typically have a knack for taking the ball away, have a take the ball away more than they give it away, at least, right? And that's what we want to see. We want to see that starting in the preseason. Let's start that now. Let's pick off Aiden O'Connell, maybe cause a couple of fumbles. Hey, Max Crosby, he was trying to cause a fumble really hard after the play with Cam Akers, and what did it get him? And speaking of Cam Akers and the Max Crosby incident, I guess that would be a bonus for me. I'd like to see an offensive lineman put Max Crosby on his back. He's probably not going to play though, right? Oh, that'd be sweet to see him out there. And hey, Max Crosby, you may have won some battles in a shared practices with the Rams. I'm afraid that might be the pinnacle of the Raiders season. We will see you next year, perhaps. That's all out here. And if there's anything you want to see in this Ram Raider game, add it to the comments below. And we'll come back. We're coming back late Saturday night with a game recap. And then we're going to come back Monday with our regular pod, and we'll have some more thoughts on the game. For now, out here from Rams Up.